Chosen one, stop for a moment. Do not treat this like another message. Something pulled you here. Something in your spirit paused before your mind could explain it. And there is a reason the name Enoch is being placed before you right now, because heaven is touching an old wound with an ancient key. This is not random. You have felt different for longer than you can remember. Not louder, not better, just set apart. Even when you tried to blend in, something inside you kept noticing what others ignored, sensing what others dismissed, and grieving what others could not even see. You smiled with the crowd, but your soul stayed awake behind your eyes. That is why this word is not casual. It is not light. It is not entertainment. It is a summons. When Enoch walked with God, he carried a kind of sight that did not belong to the crowd. And that same pattern has been moving through souls like yours. You are being called to remember what pain tried to bury. You have wondered why your life never felt normal. You laughed with people, but part of you watched from far away. You entered rooms and felt the weight before anyone spoke. And sometimes you knew a person was false before their words gave you proof. You did not ask for that knowing, but it kept coming. You called it anxiety. You called it overthinking. You called it being too sensitive. But deep inside, you knew there was more. You knew your spirit was reading something your eyes could not explain, and that made you feel both gifted and exhausted. It made you wonder why peace could feel so heavy. Listen closely. Enoch did not belong to the rhythm of his age. He walked differently. He heard differently. He saw differently. And that is why heaven trusted him with visions that ordinary minds could not carry without breaking under the weight. Separation was not punishment, it was preparation. You may not have called yourself a seer, you may not have used holy words, but you have seen patterns before they unfolded. You have felt warnings before events happened. You have dreamed things that stayed in your chest for days. Some dreams faded from memory, but their weight remained like a mark. There are nights when you wake for no clear reason. Your room is quiet, your phone is still, but your soul feels alert, as if something unseen has passed near your life. You sit there wondering why peace and urgency can visit you at the same time. Your mind asks for proof, but your spirit already knows. That is not random. Your spirit has been trained through pressure. Your discernment has been sharpened through betrayal. Your sensitivity has been shaped through isolation. And what they called weakness may be the very doorway heaven uses to speak through you. This is why your pain never made you empty. For years, you asked why you could not just be like everyone else. You tried to silence the inner knowing. You tried to ignore the dreams. You tried to dismiss the signs. But the more you tried to become ordinary, the heavier your soul became. A foreseen soul cannot live well in denial for long, because a hidden witness cannot sleep forever under noise. You were not formed to be numb in a generation that celebrates blindness. You were formed to recognize what others are trained to miss. This is why the mention of Enoch touches the ancient part of you, the part that knows time is moving toward something. No, you were not made wrong. You were marked differently. There is a kind of soul that heaven prepares in secret, and before that soul can stand publicly, it is often misunderstood privately by almost everyone around it. The wound is real, but the wound is not your identity. That is the wound this message is touching. The wound of being seen by God but missed by people. The wound of carrying insight but having no safe place to speak it. The wound of knowing something is coming but not knowing how to explain it. Heaven has not mocked that ache. Heaven has kept record. The visions of Enoch were heavy because they reached beyond the comfort of his generation. They showed corruption, judgment, watchers, hidden things, and the trembling of an age. But they also reveal a pattern, because heaven always keeps record of those who still listen when the world grows loud. What if that is why you could never settle into the crowd? What if your discomfort was not rejection, but protection? What if the loneliness that hurt you was also the fence that kept your spirit from being swallowed by the wrong voices? You thought absence meant loss, but heaven was guarding the signal. You thought people leaving meant you were being punished. You thought closed doors meant you were forgotten. You thought silence meant God had stepped back. But heaven was removing noise around a signal you had not yet learned how to protect. That signal is the part of you that still responds to truth. It is the part of you that cannot celebrate deception. It is the part that feels unsettled when everyone else claps for what heaven has already rejected. And yes, that kind of soul gets tired, because it gets told to relax when it is actually discerning danger. It gets told to move on when heaven is saying, pay attention. He could not erase what heaven placed in you, so he taught you to doubt every signal. He made you apologize for discernment. He made you call your gift a burden. But something is changing now. You can feel it. The old numbness is cracking, and the old confusion is losing its grip. Enoch was not shown visions so he could feel special. He was trusted with sight because his walk was separate. And for a chosen one, separation is never about pride. It is about protection, purity, and the ability to hear clearly. This is the part you must not miss now. The vision is not only about the end of an age. It is about the kind of soul that remains awake when the age becomes distracted, entertained, deceived, and spiritually numb. A soul like yours was never meant to survive by copying the crowd. You were never meant to trade holy awareness for temporary acceptance. You have not been wandering without meaning. You have been hidden in preparation. You have not been delayed because you are forgotten. You have been slowed because a soul with sight must be purified before it is trusted with greater movement. Heaven does not waste the years it uses to form you. And now the question opens before you. What if Enoch did not only see the darkness of the end, but the kind of witness who would still be able to stand when many hearts grew cold? What if the soul he saw looked like the one inside you, not because you are perfect, but because you still reach for God? That is the sign, not perfection, not popularity, not constant strength. The sign is that even when you wanted to quit, your spirit never fully bowed to the darkness. Even when you were tired, you still knew there was more. And before you can understand why a soul like yours was written into the vision, you must understand why your sensitivity was attacked first. Now you must understand why your sensitivity was attacked first. It was never because you were weak. It was never because you were broken. It was because your sensitivity was the first place heaven placed a listening gate, and anything that can hear God becomes a target in a noisy world. The enemy feared what you would notice once you stopped hating the way you were made. You were taught to apologize for what you could sense. You were told to calm down. You were told to stop reading too deeply into people. But many times, your spirit was not creating drama. It was detecting danger. You were not being strange. You were perceiving what others had trained themselves to ignore. This is the mark that confused you. You could feel a change before a conversation shifted. You could sense hidden anger behind a smile. You could walk into a room and know which spirit was heavy, which heart was false, and which person was quietly suffering. It made you tired, but it also made you accurate. But heaven never called your discernment a problem. Heaven never mocked your trembling. Heaven never laughed at the way you felt things before they appeared. The crowd may have named it madness, but heaven named it training. What looked like overthinking was often your spirit trying to protect you from a path that looked safe but carried hidden poison. This is why the life of Enoch matters to you. He did not walk by the public rhythm. He walked with God. That means his life was measured by another sound, another timing, another kind of obedience. He was not impressive because he matched his age. He was marked because he did not surrender his inner walk to the noise around him. And that is where your story begins to make sense. You were never comfortable with certain conversations. You could not laugh at certain things. You could not celebrate certain doors, even when everyone told you they were blessings. Something inside you would tighten. Something would whisper, wait. Something would say, this is not clean. You did not always obey that whisper. Sometimes you ignored it. Sometimes you chose the person anyway. Sometimes you entered the room anyway. Sometimes you accepted the offer anyway. And later, when the truth came out, you remembered the first small warning. You remembered that your spirit knew before your life had proof. This is the difference between fear and discernment. Fear screams and scatters you. Discernment warns and steadies you. Fear makes you run from everything. Discernment teaches you where not to place your covenant, your energy, your loyalty, and your open heart. You are learning the difference now. You are not called to be suspicious of everyone. That is not wisdom. That is trauma wearing armor. But you are called to stop silencing the holy check inside you just because someone else wants access to your peace. Some people call your boundary rejection because they benefited from your confusion. You have mistaken isolation for failure. But separation has protected you more times than you know. Some friendships ended because your future could not breathe inside those conversations. Some places closed because your assignment would have been contaminated there. Some people left because their presence kept your spirit in a lower state of agreement. This is why the lonely season had purpose. It was not just emptiness, it was removal. It was pruning. It was heaven pulling your roots out of soil that could not feed what you were becoming. You cried because it felt like loss, while heaven knew it was rescue before the trap could fully close. Enoch represents a walk that cannot be explained to people who only understand crowds. He walked with God in a world that was drifting. He carried nearness in an age of distance. He became a sign that one soul can live by heaven, while an entire generation moves by appetite. That is the pattern touching you. You are not being called to escape the world in fear. You are being called to move through it with clean sight. You can love people without agreeing with every spirit they carry. You can be kind without becoming available to every demand. You can forgive without reopening doors heaven already shut. For too long, you let noisy people name your silence. They said you changed. They said you became distant. They said you thought you were better. But the truth is simpler. Your spirit became tired of performing comfort for people who kept disturbing your peace. Silence became the only language your healing could survive. And now heaven is teaching you to see silence differently. Silence is not always defeat. Silence is not always weakness. Sometimes silence is the place where the inner signal becomes audible again. Sometimes God hides you in quiet because the next instruction would be lost in the crowd. There is a reason your clarity matters now. A watcher soul cannot live by constant confusion. A hidden witness cannot keep making choices from fog. Your assignment requires a mind that can hear, pause, test, and obey. Not perfectly, not dramatically, but steadily enough to recognize when heaven is guiding. Do not be ashamed that your signal became buried. Many chosen ones are walking with a spirit that is awake and a mind that is exhausted. They love God, but their focus is scattered. They pray, but their thoughts run in circles. They sense something near, but the noise inside makes the message feel far away. This does not mean your calling is gone. It means your inner environment needs to be cleared. It means the gift was not destroyed, only covered. It means the same soul that once heard clearly can hear again when the pressure, fear, and mental clutter stop sitting on the throne. That is why the mark was never madness. The mark was the ability to know when something was off before evidence arrived. The mark was the ache when your life moved away from truth. The mark was the strange grief you felt around people who looked alive but carried dead places inside them. You were not imagining everything. You were learning language for what your spirit already knew. You were learning how to separate pain from perception, trauma from truth, fear from warning, and loneliness from protection. This is the school many foreseen souls enter before they understand why their life was so heavily guarded. And now, the old accusation must fall. You are not too sensitive. You are not too deep. You are not too hard to understand. You are a soul being trained to hear beneath the surface. And that kind of soul must be healed before it can trust its own hearing again. Receive this. Your sensitivity is not your shame. Your discernment is not your disorder. Your separation is not your rejection. Your delay is not your denial. God was forming a witness in hidden places, because a witness who stands at the end of an age must first survive the misunderstanding of the age. So breathe. Let that truth settle. The mark on your life was never madness. It was evidence that heaven had not allowed you to become numb. And this is where the vision becomes heavier, because Enoch did not only see darkness, he saw separation. He saw the line between those who hear and those who refuse to hear. The separation Enoch saw was not small. It was not only about people living in different places. It was about spirits moving under different agreements. Some hearts were becoming dull. Some minds were becoming proud. But there were still souls heaven could trust, with warning, sight, and witness. This is why the old vision feels close to you. It is ancient, but it touches your present life. It speaks to the part of you that keeps noticing corruption beneath beauty, pride beneath religion, and emptiness beneath applause. You are not drawn to Enoch by curiosity alone. Your soul recognizes the pattern. Enoch stood as a witness when many had stopped trembling before holy things. He saw that darkness can look normal when a generation agrees with it long enough. He saw that corruption does not always enter loudly. Sometimes it enters as comfort, appetite, compromise, and the slow loss of reverence. You have watched this around you. You have watched deception dress itself as wisdom. You have watched cruelty hide behind confidence. You have watched people laugh at what once would have broken them, and something inside you could not join it, because your spirit was never trained to clap for what heaven was exposing. That is why you often feel grief in places where others feel excitement. It is not because you hate joy. It is because your spirit can sense when joy has been replaced by distraction. You feel the weight behind the noise, and sometimes you leave a room with a sadness nobody else understands. This is the burden of a watcher's soul. You notice the invisible cost. You notice when attention has stolen peace. You notice when success has swallowed light. You notice when a smile is being used as a curtain. And because you notice, you sometimes wish you could stop noticing. But Enoch did not receive vision so he could avoid pain. He received vision so he could carry witness. A witness does not invent truth. A witness stands near truth, even when the crowd would rather be comforted by a lie. That calling has a price, and you have felt that price in your bones. The hidden record is part of this. Heaven does not only record what people show. Heaven sees motive. Heaven sees the secret agreement behind a public action. Heaven sees the tears no one counted, and the prayers no one heard. This should comfort you, because much of your life has been misunderstood by human eyes. People judged your distance without knowing what it cost you. They judged your silence without knowing what you were resisting. They judged your slow steps without knowing how many times God saved you from speed. But the hidden record is not confused. Heaven knows why you paused when others pushed. Heaven knows why you walked away. Heaven knows why you could not answer certain messages. Heaven knows why your spirit felt sick around certain invitations. The record is not written by gossip or pressure. It is written by the one who saw the danger before you had language for it. This is why you must stop begging the wrong people to understand your obedience. They did not see what God showed your spirit. They did not feel the warning in your chest. They did not carry the dream that woke you in the night. Some decisions only make sense to heaven until time exposes the reason. This is where the watchers in the old vision become symbolic for your life. They remind you that unseen things move behind seen events. Not every battle begins in public. Not every attack wears the face of an enemy. Sometimes the battle begins as confusion, delay, exhaustion, and a strange heaviness over your thoughts. You have felt that heaviness. You have sat with it. You have prayed through it. Some days you could not explain why simple choices felt difficult, or why your mind became crowded the moment you tried to listen for God. That crowding was not always random. Sometimes it was resistance against clarity, because clarity changes everything. When a chosen one sees clearly, they stop negotiating with traps. They stop returning to old chains. They stop confusing access with love. They stop calling every open door a blessing. And that is why darkness works so hard to blur the inner lens before the next instruction arrives. The vision of Enoch carries a warning, but it also carries a mirror. It says that when an age becomes loud, God still has souls who can hear. When an age becomes corrupt, God still has witnesses who can grieve rightly. When an age becomes numb, God still has hidden ones who tremble at truth. This is why the hidden scroll matters. It is not only a scroll outside you, it is a symbol of what heaven wrote into your spirit before pain taught you to hide. There are pages inside you that shame has not destroyed, and there are lines of purpose still waiting to be read. But a scroll does not open well in chaos. A sacred message cannot be handled by a mind that is constantly drowning in noise. This is why the enemy filled your life with urgency, comparison, fear, and endless stimulation. He wanted the pages inside you to stay closed under mental fog. You may have noticed this pattern. The moment you are ready to pray, distraction arrives. The moment you want to listen, pressure rises. The moment you begin to feel direction, an old wound starts speaking again. It is as if something knows your clarity is dangerous before you do. That is because your clarity is dangerous. Not to people, but to the assignments that were designed to delay you. A clear, chosen one becomes difficult to manipulate. A clear watcher soul becomes hard to impress with false light. A clear, hidden witness can walk away before the trap becomes a cage. This is why heaven has been slowing you down. It is not just to rest your body, it is to restore your inner sight. You cannot carry a prophetic assignment with a scattered mind and a bleeding heart. God heals the vessel before he increases the weight of what the vessel must carry. And if the enemy cannot make you evil, he will try to make you scattered. If he cannot make you reject God, he will try to make you too exhausted to recognize God. If he cannot steal your calling, he will bury it under notifications, opinions, pressure, memory, and fear. So guard the inner world. Guard the gate of your mind. Guard the sound you keep listening to. Guard the voices you keep replaying. A soul like yours cannot afford constant inner pollution because your discernment does not operate well while your thoughts are being pulled in every direction. Some chosen ones are not lacking faith, they are lacking stillness in the mind. Their spirit is awake, but their focus has been scattered. They can feel heaven near, but the message feels far away because the inner room is crowded. This is not condemnation. This is a call back to clarity. There is a reason clarity matters so much for a watcher soul. If your mind is scattered, your discernment becomes delayed. If your focus is buried, your inner witness becomes quiet. Heaven can be speaking, but the noise inside you can make the message feel distant. And the most dangerous part is not the darkness in the age. It is when the chosen soul becomes too tired to recognize its own light. Now listen with your whole spirit. The danger was never only around you. The danger was what confusion tried to do inside you. The enemy did not need to destroy your calling if he could bury your signal. He did not need to make you evil. He only needed to make you unsure. He studied the places where you were wounded. He watched the moments when you were ignored. He used rejection to make you question your discernment. And little by little, you started asking if every warning was just fear, if every dream was just stress, and if every holy ache was just pain. But the truth is rising now. You were not confused because you had no light. You were confused because too much noise gathered around the light. The lamp was still burning, but the room was crowded. The signal was still alive, but fear, pressure, memory, and exhaustion were speaking over it. This is why Enoch matters in this moment. His vision points to a kind of soul that remains awake when the age becomes numb. Not a perfect soul, not a famous soul, not a soul with applause. A soul that still trembles at truth while others laugh at warning. That is you. You may be tired, you may be wounded, you may be quiet, But somewhere inside you, there is still a holy refusal. You have not fully bowed to darkness. You have not fully agreed with deception. Even when you fell, something inside you still reached upward. That reaching is evidence. That grief is evidence. That discomfort around falsehood is evidence. The soul Enoch saw was not powerful because it never struggled. It was powerful because it could still hear heaven in a generation trained to ignore the sound. You are not lost. You are being awakened. The enemy wanted you to believe your sensitivity was a curse. He wanted you to call your discernment damage. He wanted you to bury your dreams under shame. But heaven is turning the accusation around. The very place you were attacked is the place your assignment is trying to speak again. Do not miss this. Your clarity is not small. Your clarity is a weapon. When you see clearly, old traps lose power. When you hear clearly, false voices lose authority. When your mind becomes still enough to receive, the next step can appear with a peace that does not need applause. This is why the battle became so intense around your mind. It was not random. Your thoughts were crowded because clarity was near. Your sleep was disturbed because heaven was stirring something. Your emotions felt heavy because old agreements were being exposed. The darkness pressed hardest near the gate of your next instruction. You kept asking God why everything felt delayed. But some delays were not denial. Some delays were mercy. God could not release you into greater movement while your inner world was still being ruled by every voice that wounded you. He had to restore your hearing before increasing your movement. And this is the part that must break something open. A soul like yours was written about, not because you would never be attacked, but because you would survive attacks that were designed to make you stop listening. You were foreseen as one who would still carry witness through noise. So stop calling yourself behind. Stop calling yourself crazy. Stop calling yourself too deep. Heaven did not make a mistake when it gave you this inner witness. The world may not know what to do with a soul like yours, but heaven knows exactly why you were formed this way. The vision was never only about judgment. It was about separation. It was about the line between those who become numb and those who remain awake. It was about the hidden ones who refuse to let their inner lamp go out, even when the winds around them grow violent. But you must protect the signal now. You cannot keep feeding your mind with every voice and then wonder why heaven feels distant. You cannot keep letting fear speak first and then wonder why peace feels delayed. A watcher soul must learn to guard its inner room. This is why I want you to pay attention to what is placed before you. There is a 7-minute audio called the Genius Song, and it was created to support the return of focus, intuition, flow, and the clear inner state many chosen ones feel they lost through pressure and noise. This is not a long ritual. This is not a complicated practice. You put on headphones, you listen for 7 minutes, and you allow your mind to move away from the scattered state that has been choking your clarity, so the signal inside you can become easier to recognize again. The Genius Song is built around brain entrainment and the gamma state. Gamma is often connected with focus, insight, learning, flow, and the feeling of sudden understanding. For a chosen one, this matters because your calling does not only need emotion, it needs clarity, steadiness, and a mind that can receive. Dr. Robert Lake, a neuroscientist with 34 years of experience, created this audio around the idea that modern life can push the mind away from its highest functioning state. The world trains you into noise, but your assignment requires a return to signal. That is the bridge. Many people spend far more on devices, coaching, courses, and complicated systems, trying to get back the focus they lost. The Genius Song is normally $49, but through the link below, it is available for $39. And it comes with digital access, so nothing has to be shipped. There are also 4 bonuses included: Genius Child, Classic Book, Guided Visualization, Infographic. These support the same direction: a clearer mind, a stronger inner environment, and a return to the ability God placed inside you. and there is a money-back guarantee. So the risk is not placed on your shoulders. If it does not feel aligned for you, you are protected. But if your spirit recognizes what is being said here, do not treat it like a random offer. Treat it as a tool placed near a timely word, because some chosen ones are not lacking faith. They are lacking a clear inner room. Their spirit is awake, but their mind has been scattered by pressure, fear, scrolling, old wounds, and constant noise. The genius song is not here to replace prayer. It is here to support focus while you return to clarity. So go to the link below when this message is over. Look at it, read it, see if it speaks to the season you are in, not because someone forced you, but because your clarity is worth protecting. A foreseen soul cannot keep living as if the inner signal does not matter. This is the climax of the message. The enemy did not win because you were delayed. He did not win because you were tired. He did not win because you cried. He only wins if you agree that the signal is gone. But it is not gone. It is rising. Your soul was not written into the pattern because you were untouched. It was written into the pattern because you would still stand after being touched by grief, delay, betrayal, and confusion. You are not the confused one. You are the one being trained to see clearly. So let the old fog break. Let the old accusation fall. Let the buried witness breathe again. The age may grow louder, but you do not have to grow numb. The world may chase distraction, but you can return to the quiet place where heaven speaks. Now that your signal has been named, it must be sealed. Now that your signal has been named, it must be sealed. Revelation without sealing becomes another moment you remember, but do not live. So slow down. Do not rush away from this word. Let your spirit settle, because what heaven has uncovered in you must not be handed back to noise. You are not leaving this message as the same person. Something has been named. Something has been pulled out of hiding. The fog that made you question yourself is no longer allowed to call itself wisdom, because heaven has exposed the difference between confusion and the holy signal inside you. Enoch wrote about a pattern, a kind of soul, a witness who still trembles when an age grows numb. And now you can see why the title found you. It was never only about an ancient vision. It was about the ancient way heaven recognizes those who keep listening. You are a foreseen soul. Say that slowly inside yourself. Not because you are above anyone. Not because you are trying to feel special. But because your life makes more sense when you stop judging it through the eyes of people who never understood the weight you carried. You were seen in the pain. You were seen in the silence. You were seen in the nights when your mind would not rest. And when you thought no one could explain the heaviness in your chest, heaven was already reading the hidden record with mercy. You were not invisible. The people who misunderstood you did not have the final word. The doors that closed did not have the final word. The betrayal that made you doubt your own discernment did not have the final word. God kept the record, and the record says, you are still here. You are still reaching. You are still listening. You are still turning back toward the light. And that is not small. In a world that rewards numbness, the fact that your spirit still responds to truth is evidence that the inner lamp has not gone out. This is why you must stop grieving your difference as if it were a curse. Your difference protected you. Your sensitivity warned you. Your silence preserved you. Your delay refined you. Even the tears you cried in secret became water for roots that no one else could see. You thought isolation meant you were unwanted, but now you know. Isolation was the room where heaven taught your spirit to hear without applause. It was the place where fake voices lost access. It was the place where your soul learned that being chosen often feels lonely before it feels powerful. So do not run back to the noise just because silence feels unfamiliar. Silence is where the scroll begins to open. Silence is where the hidden witness breathes again. Silence is where the next instruction can land without being trampled by fear, comparison, and the opinions of people who are not assigned to your future. You have spent enough years doubting the signal. You have spent enough nights asking if you were only imagining things. You have spent enough energy explaining your obedience to people who wanted access more than understanding. This is the hour to guard the gate of your mind. Guard what you watch. Guard what you replay. Guard what you let enter your ears. Guard the conversations that leave your spirit heavy. A chosen one cannot live with every window open and then wonder why the inner room feels crowded. Your peace is not weakness. It is a holy responsibility. And yes, this is why the link below matters. If this message confirmed what your spirit already knew, pay attention to the genius song. It is for the chosen one whose mind has been crowded, whose focus has been scattered, and whose inner signal needs support as clarity returns. This is not about replacing prayer. It is not about replacing faith. It is not about chasing a strange shortcut. It is a simple 7-minute audio designed to support focus, intuition, flow, and the clearer state many chosen ones need after years of pressure and mental noise. Now place your hand over your heart if you can. Breathe in slowly. Breathe out the weight. Do not perform. Do not force emotion. Just become present before God, because the part of you that has been tired from carrying invisible things is being invited into rest. Say this with your spirit. I will not lose my signal. I will not call my discernment madness. I will not call my sensitivity shame. I will not return to the voices that buried my clarity. I receive the light heaven assigned to me. I receive the witness within me. Let that settle. Let it reach the places where people laughed at what you knew. Let it touch the memories where you ignored the warning and paid for it later. Let it heal the part of you that has been afraid to trust your inner witness again. God is not asking you to become loud. He is not asking you to prove anything. He is not asking you to explain every separation. He is teaching you to walk like Enoch walked, close enough to hear, separate enough to obey, and steady enough to keep moving when others do not understand. The scroll is no longer only outside you, it is opening inside you. Every lesson, every delay, every hidden tear, every warning, every closed door, and every strange dream has been gathering into a language your spirit is finally ready to understand. You are not behind, you are being revealed. This is your closing instruction. Protect the signal, protect the quiet, protect the obedience that people cannot understand yet. Do not hand your clarity to every opinion. Do not let old shame rename what heaven has already redeemed. You are a hidden witness, and your witness is waking up. If this word has touched the deepest part of you, write these words in the comments. I will not lose my signal. Let it be your public agreement. Let it be your marker. Let it tell heaven that you are no longer ashamed of the way your spirit hears. And after you write it, do not leave this message in emotion only. Take one step. Visit the link below. Look at the genius song. See whether this is the tool placed near your season to help support the clarity your assignment now requires. Move with peace, not pressure. You were foreseen in the pattern. You were held in the hidden record. You were separated, not to be abandoned, but to be preserved. You were wounded, not to be ruined, but to be refined. And you are awakening, not because the world is safe, but because your time to stand is near. So receive this final blessing. May your mind become clear. May your spirit become steady. May your dreams be cleansed. May your discernment be healed. May your heart forgive without reopening every door. May your feet move only where heaven gives peace. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. You are not too sensitive. You are not too deep. You are a soul like yours, the kind heaven still recognizes in an age of noise. Stand quietly. Stand cleanly. Stand with God. The vision has touched you now. The scroll has opened within you now. The signal is rising again. Do not bury it. Do not mock it. Do not trade it for acceptance. Walk with God. Guard the light. And remember, the scroll is no longer outside you. The scroll is opening inside you.